Okay, so this is question E. What I've noticed is the last time I did it was really messy, so I thought I'd make it a little bit nicer for you guys. So here it is. I typed everything out, made it all pretty. Takes a little bit of time, so yeah. Okay, so what I did was I first crossed out. I wanted to make the leading coefficient 1. That means I wanted this -2 to be a 1. In order to do that, I had to divide by -2. Negative divided by negative is a positive. And 2 divided by 2 is a 1. So you see this blue cross and blue cross, it matches the 1 in the front. Same thing with the 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Negative divided by negative is positive. And I repeat that process here with the -1 divided by -2 is positive 1/2. And then I have to subtract 1/2 from each side to keep it equal. Okay. Now we divide everything, even this 0, by this -2. To keep the equation equal. 0 divided by -2 is 0, which is great. Okay. Now I'm going to add b over 2 squared. So this is my b term now. 4. So 4 divided by 2 squared. B divided by 2 squared. Now the only thing that changes from time to time is this b value, this 4. Sometimes it might be a 3 or a 10 or whatever it is. That's what I'm dividing by 2. It could be a 0. Okay. If there's nothing there, it might be a 0. Okay, so this is should have a negative sign there, -1/2, -1/2. I forgot the negatives. 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 2 squared is 4. Okay, I have this big simplify sign here. That's all I'm doing. I'm simplifying, use my order of operations. Okay, I combine these two. 4 minus 1/2 is 3.5. And once I have this added, this 4 here, I have a perfect square trinomial. Okay. Perfect square trinomial. And the nice thing about that perfect square trinomial is what I was looking for right here, is that perfect square trinomial will actually create two exactly identical factors, x plus 2, x plus 2, when I factor. Okay. Now when I factor these and I have identical factors and they're the same, I can rewrite it as a square. Here's a simplify, combine two identical terms, they're the same, into a square. Now this kind of roughly looks like vertex form, sort of. If I move this over, if there was an a or something in here, I'm kind of just missing the k and the a. I have the x minus h squared portion here, okay? But that's just kind of like a little bonus nugget of information there, okay? I'm going to square root each side to solve for x. So I'm going to square root this side. This 2 and this red square root are opposites. They go away and cancel each other out. Parentheses melt away. X plus 2 equals the square root of 3.5, which I don't know where it is. Okay, so I'm just going to do plus or minus 3.5. I have two solutions, one with a plus. I did that in blue. So x plus 2 equals positive square root 3.5. And then I have a -1, x plus 2 equals negative square root 3.5. I'm going to do the exact same solving for both equations. I'm going to -2 here, -2 there. They're not like terms, so I kept them in separate colors. They're separated. Same thing here. They're not like terms, so I kept them separated into two different colors. Okay, so on your paper, this is the one I handed you guys on the way in. Slide 1 should be all filled out. Slide 2, what it says, what it means, we filled that out together. Those 3 questions, I answered A for you guys, I answered C for you guys, and E. You're left with D, B, and F to fill out. Okay, this is where they go. This is in the front, this is on the back. Okay, so slide 4 says prepare a presentation, explain in words the method to completing the square. Paragraph form, no bullets or numbers. Okay. So again, we pretty much did this already. Let's go back to what we just did. So this is slide 4 that we're on, prepare a presentation. Again, work time. Here's where you're going to prepare your presentation. You can type it out. You can write it on the paper that I just shown. You can write your presentation here and take a picture and then post it or upload it to your iPad. Now, explain in words. Okay, now I use a lot of the words for you guys and I've done them already, so let's go to the one that's nice and pretty. Here's the words. Okay, we're making everything a leading coefficient of 1 divided keep everything equal, you're going to add this term to each side in order to keep it, to make it a perfect square. Perfect square trinomial will factor into two identical factors. And you square root each side to solve for x. Okay, if you're typing out the words that I'm saying, you pretty much got everything you need. It's a little bit of what we call redundancy. You're doing things over and over again, so it kind of soaks in a little bit. So kind of like if you're playing sports, you practice, 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 and it becomes automatic. So we're going to do this in a different way. I want this in paragraph form, okay? Very important, paragraph form, not in bullets, etc. Okay, here are some words that you can use. Properties of equalities, factor, identical, maybe even the word, it's not on your paper, but identical, perfect, square, trinomial are some great words as well. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Trinomial, and then we'll share when we're done. Okay, this is after we have shared with each other. The paragraph you just wrote in slide 4, we're going to read out loud as a class. We'll take turns. We'll take a few volunteers, a few people I will volunteer yourselves, and then we're going to share. Anything that you missed, that like, oh, that was a great idea, you should be writing down here. Okay. Someone said something that was, you know what, that was really good. Maybe I'll write that down too. Add something here. Okay. I'm going to add this here. You need a minimum of 2 additional ideas, okay, that you get from your fellow students. Okay, a minimum of 2 additional ideas. Okay. Now slide 6 is, I believe, our second to last slide. Making connections. Okay, slide 6 we'll talk about together. Sorry, it says slide 6 on your paper. This should say slide 7. Okay, and this is things that you should be reflecting on. Okay, we'll talk about this in class. And slide 7, which looks like this, reflect on your work. In your notebook, again, click up here in the top right and write a reflection. It says, one part of completing the square I'm still confused about is, complete that sentence. And I gave you a bonus one. In order to get unconfused, I will. Okay, so one thing that you're confused about, okay, and what are you going to do about it? Okay, you have a problem, which is okay. We're not perfect. Now, what do you need to do to fix that problem? I will ask a classmate who seems to get it all. I will watch the videos again. I'll Google or YouTube a different video. I'll go to Khan Academy, something. Give me some sort of solution once you're done. Okay. Okay, so here's our agenda. I'm gonna post this online as well. Oops. So what you're gonna want to do is, we went to the do now, the direct instruction. This was your that quiz. This is the video lessons, practice, which we did, which we're doing now. So online Rev Prep. I assigned one for last week's assignment, which was solving quadratics by factoring. We didn't get time to it, so now there's 2 assignments, completing the square and by factoring. Both are actually pretty similar. If you complete this one will be cake. Okay. Practice. Once you've done the independent, we're going to work on this. So 2 groups. If you're up by the window or against the wall, so the 2 tables next to the wall near the door, 2 tables near the window, work on independent work, and then we'll switch to the middle 4, which is direct instruction. There's 10 questions on the bottom of the page. We'll work on those together. I know this is pretty tricky, so I do expect us to have lots and lots of questions, but we'll do the work together. That's in the middle. Get your notebooks out, piece of paper for either one. You're going to need something to write on, so go and get something out to write with, and let's get to work.